people who should have never come to know Jesus Christ. I should have been one of those. I did not grow up in an area where the preaching of the gospel was done. I didn't grow up in a family that was conducive to good gospel preaching. But the Bible does say, if you seek me, you will find me. So when I went out looking, I found it. When I went seeking for Jesus, guess what? I found him. Maybe my path wasn't very clear at first, and I had to follow little bit by little bit. I followed what I knew, but eventually I came to the cross. I found my way home, because everybody knows the way of the cross leads home. We find strength in a maybe. Maybe God could have mercy on a little Indian boy like me. Maybe God could have mercy on a sinner such as I. After all, consider the gracious nature of God, who is merciful and forgiving. Consider the glorious work of Christ on behalf of sinners. Jesus Christ said he came for sinners. I came to seek and to save that which is lost. Hey, here I am. I'm lost. Wasn't I one of the lost? I was. Didn't Jesus come to seek and to find me? I thought I was seeking him. No, if you seek me, you'll find me. Why? Because I'm looking for you. And God's advantage point, he could see me much better than I could see him. Jesus promised, I have come to seek and to save that which is lost. I was lost. While I thought I was seeking him, he was seeking me. He knew right where I was. He just had to work it out to me to get in that right place. And he worked it out. And although it seemed to me an accident, it was destiny. October 3rd, my brother John is in the bathroom combing his hair, something he didn't usually do. We had a good friend, Rick Young, come on over to the house. Rick Young's got his hair combed to perfection. He is in the snappiest clothes I ever seen that boy in. My brother John is over there. Although he doesn't have a suit, he is putting on a tie. If you know anything about folks in the 60s and 70s, one thing we did not have was a tie. Where he found it, I don't know. So John and Rick are looking like they are dressed to the nines. There's a fella coming in a pickup truck to pick them up and take them to church, they tell me. Well, I wanted to see this church myself. I have on a pretty nice t-shirt. Some relatively decent Levi's, only one or two holes in them. I didn't have no shoes, but that shouldn't stop anybody. After all, I'm riding in the back of a pickup truck. So John and Rick dressed up quite handsomely. And there I am, tattering along in the back of a pickup truck. Didn't seem like anything at all. We were going to church. I had never gone to church in the evening like this before. I didn't even hear a word the preacher said. No conviction, no nothing fell over me. What a wicked person I am. I'm not really seeking, I'm just sort of looking around at all the folks who are there. When the invitation is given, John and Rick head toward the front. I thought they was going out the door over there. I told you this before. So I got up to follow them out the door. Because we came down, what would it be, like if I sit where that young man is right there, and they got up, and I just figured they're heading out this door, so I got up and I followed them out the side door, but instead of going out the door, they turned and came this way. Stood right there in front of Pastor Stan Jensen. And Pastor Stan said to Rick, what have you come forward for? And Rick said, well, I got saved last week, and I'd like to get baptized. He asked my brother John, and John said the same strange thing. I never heard those words before in my whole life. I got saved. Didn't even know they went to church the week before. Got saved last week, and I'd come forward to get baptized. And he asked me what I came forward for, and I said, I thought we would believe. No, how did I know that that was destiny? I didn't. Did I know that that was Jesus Christ seeking me out? I have come to seek and to save that which was lost. He got me interested in my brother combing his hair, of all things. The fact that Rick came over over in something other than a pair of Levi's. That piqued my interest. He brought me into a church that everybody knows was a sin to go to. You can't go to, you Protestant folks. Not as good holy people anyway. But I went, and who knew that at the very end when I said that? And so he asked me if I was saved, and had no idea. I got saved by a lifeguard that summer. Huntington Beach, and the preacher just quoted by Brother John, so embarrassed. Like, stupidest kid in the world was standing next to him, has to be his brother. And so he called for the president of their youth group, a senior in high school, cricket tall kid, about 6'6", looked like a giant to me. And he said, would you go into the pastor's office? And the pastor's office was located at the door just like that. So I came up the steps, went over that way with this bodyguard watching over me so I wouldn't escape. Well, the pastor finished off whatever preachers do at invitations. Then he come on into the room and told me I was a sinner. That I needed Jesus. How do I know that destiny was working there? That the salvation of literally thousands of souls was taking place in that moment as it was taking place in me. And that God was getting ready to send me out into a lost and dying world. I had no idea that that was the moment of change in my life. But Son of Man came to seek and to save that which was lost. Not only me, but all those that I would save in years to come in his service. Maybe that little barefoot kid could do some work for God. Maybe. If I save his soul, maybe he'll work for me. Jesus, with a grain of mustard seed faith in my life, saved me, changed me, used me to change a lost and dying world around me.